This is Bowser's Fury. It's the most recent 3D Mario game from Nintendo, and it also happens to be their weirdest one. Nintendo has gone back and forth with how open world their games have been. It all started with Super Mario 64, where you could collect the stars in pretty much any order you wanted. Then Mario Sunshine forced you to play each episode in order, but the vibe was still definitely open world. Mario Galaxy went on to feature a lot more isolated levels and linear challenges. Then 3D World came along, which was almost a 2D game with how linear it was. At that point, Nintendo said screw it, let's completely reverse this trend and make the most open world Mario game ever made, which turned out to be Super Mario Odyssey. Odyssey still consists of separate worlds, but you can take whatever paths you want to collect the moons in pretty much any order you desire. Now at this point, Nintendo had just released the two most open world games in their series history, with Breath of the Wild and Odyssey, and they were also two of their most critically and commercially successful games to date. And with how powerful game consoles are these days, there's really not much of a technical need to split things up into worlds anyway. So they asked, what if we ditch the worlds altogether? That's where Bowser's Fury comes in. No worlds, no levels, no loading times, just one giant map with a bunch of cat shines littered about. I don't think people appreciate how insane this is. It's the first time Nintendo has ever made a completely open world Mario game, and it actually worked. Kinda. Bowser's Fury is more of a trial run than a full game. There's only 100 cat shines in total, and you can easily beat the whole thing in one sitting. This was Nintendo's way of saying, we know that people like this for other games, so let's see if it works well for a fun 3D Mario experience. The main advantage of the completely open world aspect is the sense of immersion. Bowser's Fury is like a book without any chapters. You just don't know when to stop reading. Of course, there's the Fury Bowser segments, which provide natural stopping points, but they still shove you right back into the level to continue playing. There's limited use of warp travel, but you can still get everywhere quickly with Plessy, especially early in the game when you haven't unlocked much. But now we get to the point where this vast open world starts to show its cracks. Once you've collected most of the cat shines, scavenging for the last few around the area. Sailing from island to faraway island, it gets pretty tedious after a while. Riding on Plessy is a blast, but it's hard to get your bearings straight when every part of the lake looks the same. And then you collect the final shine. Man, that was fun. But what now? The biggest criticism of Bowser's Fury was the lack of collectibles, fun characters to talk to, etc. Basically, all the extra stuff that usually comes with a 3D Mario game and gives it replayability. Obviously, Bowser's Fury is just a side game, so it doesn't need all that stuff. But I do wonder if it would be difficult to incorporate all of that into a larger version of Bowser's Fury. All of the fun extra stuff in Mario Odyssey depended on the environment. The NPCs were all regional, their purple coins could only be used at the regional shops, and the weather of the area impacted the gameplay as well. All the regional charm is lost in an environment that doesn't change. Of course, they could add regions to the giant world, like in Breath of the Wild, but at that point it seems natural to just split them into separate areas in the Odyssey style. The problems with the complete open world design really show themselves when you increase the length of the game. Fluidity and immersion soon lead to boredom and exhaustion after enough playtime. So what can we take from Bowser's Fury and Mario Odyssey to make the perfect 3D Mario? Or rather, what would Nintendo try to do? The biggest criticism that Mario Odyssey got was the sheer number of moons in the game. Some people felt that it was too easy to get a moon, and this made each one feel less important. Personally, I didn't really get that feeling while playing, but Nintendo seems to have rectified the issue in Bowser's Fury. Each cat shine is hidden behind an actual challenge, meaning you won't just stumble randomly across them. Though you can still get them pretty quickly, so I'd like to hear from you viewers if the cat shines felt as cheap as the moons in Odyssey. From my impression, Mario fans really enjoyed the short and sweet challenges leading up to each cat shine, so I predict that Nintendo will keep this format. It's a more seamless integration than what Odyssey did with the mini areas behind the cap doors. Of course, the game won't be made up entirely of these smaller shines, or whatever they use. There'll have to be bosses every once in a while, but I doubt that the next 3D Mario would bring back the Broodals from Odyssey. They were okay, but not very memorable. You know who was memorable? Fury Bowser. Having Bowser always lurking in the background ready to attack at any time brought a whole new level of fear to the adventure. Mario Wonder also had Bowser in a new form, and he was always visible in the main world map. I predict that Bowser will once again undergo some kind of transformation, and the bosses that he sends out will be manifestations of his new energy. Also, we'll probably be able to fight the physical form of Bowser multiple times like in Odyssey, though I predict that he'll get bigger upgrades along the way than he did in that game. There could also be bosses that you just naturally encounter in the world, like Knuckletech or Torque Drift. Now, what about the world layout of the game? Because of the reasons listed earlier, I do not think that Nintendo will opt for simply a larger version of Bowser's Fury. But can they still incorporate elements that made Bowser's Fury so immersive? Absolutely. In fact, I predict that the next 3D Mario game will not have any loading screens at all, and they'll bring back riding Plessy to get around places. Here's how that would work. Each world is a huge island separated by some water. Just imagine Mario Sunshine, but you can use Plessy to ride around to any of the islands at any time, without those pesky invisible walls. I think that being able to see where adventure is going to take you creates an incredible atmosphere, and it's what Bowser's Fury excelled at. So they'll keep it. Now, unlike Mario Sunshine, the worlds will be vastly different, but I don't think it'll be your typical sand, ice, water, or jungle worlds. The worlds will be way more complex and surprising than those simple themes could give you. Platforming in these worlds won't feel like you're just hopping around a level that Bowser created. It'll feel like you're actually exploring the environment and discovering natural phenomena. Think like what Mario Odyssey did, but to a whole new level. Like, come on, by the time a new game comes out, it'll have been at least 7 years since Odyssey. The stuff they've been cooking up will be unbelievable, I promise. Of course, the worlds are nothing without the unique enemies and NPCs that you can interact with. Mario Odyssey had incredible world building with so many new enemies, and the next one will do the same. I really wish they would reuse some enemies, but they probably won't. Okay, what about the movement? Well, Bowser's Fury gave us a sneak peek into the future. Similar to 3D World, but with the camera from Odyssey. The little mid-air dive they added works very well, and I don't see them changing that. Mario also runs way faster than he did on the Wii U, which works well for bigger areas. As for the new central mechanic, I predict that the game will feature something similar to the badges we got in Mario Wonder. Instead of just Cappy, we'll have multiple mechanics that we can use at any time that we want, or maybe only one per world. This keeps the movement fresh and allows for more world-building opportunities. Like, in Seaside Kingdom, wouldn't you rather have something that helps you swim instead of Cappy? Yes, you can capture fish to swim better, but then you can't really do much else and it feels limiting. I just hope the badges don't make the game too easy, like they did in Wonder. Alright, let's recap. The next 3D Mario will take elements from Mario Odyssey, Bowser's Fury, and Mario Wonder. There will be 6 or so giant islands all located on the same map. You can visit them at any time and in any order with the help of Plessy, just like in Bowser's Fury. Each map will have its own regional enemies, NPCs, and collectibles, much like Odyssey. And Mario will get multiple movement upgrades along the way, in a similar vein as Mario Wonder. Let me be very clear about this. This will not be a Mario Odyssey sequel. Mario is always innovating, and this game will be unbelievable and unpredictable in so many ways. But the last 3 main series Mario games had so many things going for them, and I predict that they'll take a lot of inspiration from those successes. Now, what you've all been waiting for, the name of the game. Yes, I will do my best to predict what the next 3D Mario will be called. Here it is, Super Mario Stargaze. Yes, I predict that stars will play a huge role in this game, just like they did in the movie. There could be some glittering stars off in the distance that you can see for the whole game, leading into them playing a vital role in the ending. And they might even bring back stars as the primary collectible, after multiple 3D games without them. So what do you think? Would Super Mario Stargaze be a fun time? Let me know. Thanks for watching.